Hello and welcome back, guys. So we are finally at a point where a student can take a test which was created by their teacher or lecturer in this case. Now I'm logged in as a student, one of the students, and I had trouble logging in previously as this particular student. So what I did, I think there was just something wrong with the password somehow. So what I did was I got a password from a known column here. Like I know the password for this one, so I just copied this and pasted it right here because the passwords are similar anyway. It's the same password for all of them. So I just copied and pasted here. I think maybe something went wrong when saving. I have no idea. But after that, I was able to log into this student. So that's Guy there. And if I now go to tests, I get this problem here. So there's an error here. Now, if we look at this error, it's inside, the error itself is saying best table or view not found. So this means that a particular table that we are trying to access was not found, and clearly here it mentions which table that is. So SchoolDB and then test students. So test students isn't a recognized table, and if I come here you see that that's actually true. The only one with students is class students. So why are we having this problem? Now if I look closely here, there's a stack trace, but I can't clearly see what's happening here. But I can see a few files. There's app.php, and then there's this tests index. So this means this is the tests controller, and then the index function. So that's where the problem is. And right there it says test.php on line 53. So in these other files, there's database.php. Now we know that every query goes through database.php, so that can't be the place where we have problems. So we ignore database.php entirely. Now, if you want to see this more clearly we've seen that there's tests.php here. So we go to tests.php there, which is right here in the controllers. And to see things properly, you might want to echo out some pre-tags at the very top here. So let's do an echo pre like so, because we know this is where the error is, and then we can see the error a little bit better. So this is more organized. At least it shows you the stack trace here, and then you can see that it starts from the app construct function, and then it goes to tests index, and then it goes to the database query, and then the PDO execute has an error. This is where things end up. Now we definitely know that the problem is not in the database here. It must be here in tests.php, which is right here, test.php line 53. So let's check that out. Now I can remove that. Let's go line 53 here. Where are we? Right there. Okay, so this is where the problem is. Now, the reason we didn't have this problem earlier is because we were running as admin, of course. But now we're running as a student. So if you're admin, it runs this. But if you are not, then it runs the rest of this. So this is why I guess we are. So as you can see here, the table name is test students, which does not really exist. So I think when replacing all instances of class, I ended up replacing the wrong stuff as well. So let's put that back to class students like so. Let's see if that solves the problem. Refresh. Okay, so we have quite a number of issues here. Okay, so let's fix this. This is on tests.php here, just on tests themselves. So you start with the error at the top to fix, because usually once you fix that, it fixes a few more down here. So on line 59, it says unidentified property tests ID. So let's go to line 59. Where is that? Right here. So it's saying test ID is not known, which is this one on this A row. So where does this row come from? So if this is true, then it comes here. So let's see exactly what is in here. So all I'm going to do now is just to show the contents of that. Since it's saying test ID does not exist, let's see what we have then. So this is okay, so there's a user row, and then what row is this? This is a class name. Okay, so it's actually reading classes and not tests. So here it's looking for the classes that I have, that the user has, and then this is for the search. And once we have the classes are right here. Okay, so from this we are now supposed to extract let's see here for a second. So student tests, it's not really tests now, is it? Select test to test. This only works with the search here. Okay. All right, so yeah, the thing is this is supposed to show only the tests that are from my classes. So this loads classes here because that's what we get from there. Okay, I don't remember where I copied this code from, but I should have edited it immediately after copying it. So what we need to do here is we are getting IDs from here. So let's get class IDs instead, since that's what we have there. So let's get those class IDs, shall we? So I'm just going to change this to class, like so that now, regardless what this says, student tests, but this is student classes. It should be classes here. Let me change that, even though it doesn't really matter because it's just an array value. But just so we are clear what we are getting here, and then we get class IDs. Okay, cool. But once we refresh, since we're getting classes, oh, it actually worked. Look at that. Test name, a second test. Okay, pretty cool. Yeah, beats me, but it worked. So let's remove that there. So, because after collecting this, we're supposed to, oh, actually here we are getting the tests using the class ID. Okay, so that makes sense now. So once we get the classes from here, we loop through the classes, and every time we have a class, we get the class ID and use that to get a particular test. Okay, so that makes sense. And what about this here? This should actually be changed to classes because we're supposed to, oh no, these are tests actually, so it's okay to search for tests directly. So this is all good. Right, so this is fine. Refresh and we are back in business. Okay, so now we do have the button for take this test right here. So if I click on take this test, the controller isn't there. Now, one thing we should keep in mind is that taking the test is exactly like viewing the test. Okay, so I can't view the test with good reason because I am a student. Because if I view the test, then I'll know the answers. So better to take the test. So right about here. So another thing we could add is we could just not show this if this user is a student. So we can hide that as well using user access. But for now, let's leave it. And I want to see where it's sending us. So it's sending us to single test, no, this one here, the take a test. It's sending us to take tests, right? Now, I want this to act exactly. Taking a test is exactly like viewing a test, only that on this one, you don't see the answers. So all we need to do is copy everything that has single test right here. Let me copy all of it. So copy everything, right click on controller, paste here, save this as tech test. So tech underscore test.php, just like single test. All right, so once we have that tech test, let me go back here up there. We need to change this from single to tech, like that. Okay, so everything else we leave as it is, only that here instead of single test we were going to refer to tech test. Also on tests.php we have all these functions here that we copied, where we're adding and editing stuff. This is irrelevant because we are not going to be editing or deleting anything. So from tests.php, make sure you remove the public add, because we're just viewing the content there. If we want to edit and delete, we'd have to take those to for now, let me leave that. I'll deal with this when I go back to admin view. So tech test.php controller, and let's go down here and create tech test from a template of single test. So where is single test? Single test view right here. So I'm going to copy all of this and right click on views, new file, paste, save, and where is this? Single class, single test view. So now I'll change that to tech test and save. So if I now go and click on this, I should have something, but access is denied, rightfully so, because of this part right here. It says lecturer. So let's change that to student at the very top there. Okay, because now taking a test can be done by a student. So click there, and there we go. Okay, so now we have an error here which we can fix, no problem, but let's do that in the next video.